Welcome back to ET. Now you're watching Markets at Noon with me, Kanishka Sarkar and Ashesha Dwaryu. Well, in this particular segment, let's put the spotlight on the alcohol beverage space. With the festive fervor is upon us, and to understand the trends that are going on in the alcohol beverage space this season, we're now joined by Vinod Giri, who's the Director General at Brewers Association of India. Hi, Mr. Giri. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we get on and talk about the trends, just wanted to understand first of all, aluminium is the key requirement for your sector when it comes to packaging. So how severe is the aluminium can supply situation right now in your sector?
Let me put this thing into three, four basic points. First of all, cans do matter to the industry. Uh, and I can speak for the beer industry. It's nearly 20% of the entire beer industry volume is through cans. And this number still is misleading because then we have some states like UP where this can be 80%. So, which means some states are very dependent on the cans. Now, we have a situation now that the current production of cans, and cans are being used not only by the beer industry but also by the soft drink industry and various other people. So this as things stand today, we are short by at least 15 to 20 crore cans only for the beer industry. That you are looking at about say 3 to 5% of the entire beer industry's volume. It's not that we are not aware of this, industry is not aware of this situation earlier. So they had started working, and as we speak today, there are investment plans already underway, and which will be say about say 60-70% more capacity is being added, and we are looking at very large investments. But that takes time to materialize, and till that time, we do have to bank on the imports to fill up the gap. Now, this QCO order that we are being talked about, that is applicable to the cans being produced in India as well as the ones which are being imported. Now, the irony is that the cans, empty cans which are being imported, on that this QCO is applicable. But if cans are being imported filled up, then this QCO is not applicable. So there goes the Make in India, belief in Make in India.
Right, so that's as far as the supply crunch is concerned. But Mr. Giri, you've also asked that a BIS certification requirement for imported aluminium cans can be deferred to April 2026. How confident are you that by then domestic suppliers will have capacity to meet domestic demand?
Let's look at it like this. Cans are a very capital intensive product. So we have the can suppliers. There are basically two, three suppliers which are servicing the entire Indian market. These are very large companies. They are already in the process of either they have signed MOUs, some the brownfield expansions are happening, some greenfield units are coming up. So they are actually putting in, and that's a significant amount, about 4,500 to 5,000 crore rupees in adding capacity. And this is just two, three people are doing it. So now, so this once that comes on board, then we do not have any shortage of cans. But that is going to take some time. So all we are requesting to the government is we are in principle entirely with the government in ensuring the BIS certification for everything which is produced in this country. But transition takes time. So all we are saying is extend this by 1 year. These are not fly by night or something which is being produced in the backyard. These are very large companies operating in large international, the countries which have a high quality record. So all we are saying is extend it by a year. We are completely with the government. There's no disagreement on that. We just want some time so that we don't have to live through this shortage which we are facing now.
Understood. But Mr. Giri, just like you were pointing out, transition takes time. So in the medium term, do you see BAI exploring alternative packaging options like glass, PET or something to, reduce the dependency on aluminum cans? Is that a possibility that you're exploring?
We Nothing works in such short term because to change a market behavior, when people buy cans, they buy for certain reasons. And cans and say other packaging which is relevant for the beer industry is the glass of course. So The replacement for consumers is not that easy. Consumers buy cans for particular reasons. It has more portability, it has better storage, it has a longer shelf life because the whole thing is sealed. And to many consumers, it's also about anti-counterfeit because cans are not easy to produce. So in a short period of say about 3 months, 6 months, it is not difficult to change the consumer's mindset. Now, some glass supplies will be improved, increased, can happen, but how much will that really offset or compensate or make up for this can shortage? It's very difficult to say.
And Mr. Giri, I understand we import most of our requirements of can from overseas. Do you think overdependence on foreign sourcing is a problem and that India should probably work on increasing domestic manufacturing capacity in India itself?
Oh, yes, that's the intent. See, no one really wants to import cans to the country. It is expensive. You also pay for the air which is inside the can because they come fully blown cans. So it is nobody wants to do that. The challenge is in current situation we have no other option. The, there is a local addition being planned, capacity increase is being planned. As I mentioned that the domestic capacity, the can suppliers, the big ones in the country, they intend to do that by say about 60% more capacity they intend to create. But that's going to take a little bit time. So we are saying extend this by a year. We want to be ready with that. The beer industry wants local cans. The can suppliers also want the local cans because they are importing from their own units abroad. So these are not third, fourth units. So we all want the domestic supplies to be there. We all confident that in a year's time, the domestic capacity will be enough to meet the requirements of the not only the beer industry but other industries as well. So all we require is a little bit more time, and that's it.
All right, so the plan is to increase, domestic manufacturing capacity. But Mr. Giri, just wanted to understand the financials here. Given the excise duties and state interest in alcohol revenues, what kind of support or, do you expect from the states over here?
In this, the challenge for us as beer makers is the state governments don't really look at this issue. Say, for example, a state like UP, which is heavily dependent on the beer cans, their revenues are linked with the beer can sales. So they raised this matter. They said, you please find some way of ensuring that my revenues are protected. Now, to go to each state and explain to them that this is a situation which has arisen out of the BIS order, it becomes a nightmare exercise. They all are concerned about their revenues. Alcohol revenues are the most significant part of their own revenues. It, it constitutes anywhere between 15 to 35-40% of their revenues. So obviously they are concerned and they are more concerned about themselves and they're not really looking at the larger picture in many cases. So pressure is on us on that also.
Understood. So that's as far as the aluminium can shortage in the domestic market is concerned. Mr. Giri, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now and helping us understand what the outlook is going forward and how the demand supply situation will